Coming up on this episode of the Preston North End Weekend Warm-Up, we've got Patrick Bauer in the studio. We'll go outside for our first ever chat with Mike Marsh since joining Preston North End, and we'll look ahead to the journey to South Wales when we take on Swansea City. All that and so much more on the Preston North End Weekend Warm-Up. Hello and a warm welcome to the Preston North End Weekend Warm-Up. Special guest, he's right here, Patrick Bauer. I did that because he did that bark, he was doing that before, that accent. Do you get that a lot? You get the... You're not a robot, are you?
Yeah, I'm a robot a little bit, but I'm happy to be here. My first time here on the preview, so looking forward to it.
You say you're looking forward to it. I'm guessing you've never watched it then, because you can't have done it if you're looking forward to it.
I saw actually Josh Harrop last week. He spoke about Ronaldo and Messi, so I saw like 15 seconds of it. So yeah, it was good.
And you occasionally dip into social media, don't you? I think you've got Instagram and a Twitter account as well.
Yeah, I've got the Facebook, my private one, and then Twitter and Instagram as well.
Probably best not to tell them about a private one. They'll all be looking for it now.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Yeah. Come here, you. Come here.
Come on, say hi.
We're being interrupted now by Thomas Barkhazen. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
How good's he? You'll have to sort of speak on his microphone a little bit.
How good is he?
How happy are you that he's signed a new contract?
Yeah, well, everyone's happy.
You will be next, my friend. You will be next. My war zone buddy. I always got a sore back because I need to carry him all the time.
Oh, wow.
It's the biggest lie I've ever heard in the history of lies.
Just so you know, we are recording right now.
So we are live right now to Facebook.
No, that's good. It's like Davina. I'll be Davina.
Over the microphone, we don't speak to each other like this, do we? I'm always shouting at you.
No.
I think everyone's happy the big man's signed.
Yes, good. Good.
And yeah.
Okay, you can stop touching each other now.
Yeah.
Beautiful as this is, it's lovely to see you.
Nice to see you, mate.
Nice to see you too,
See you in Caldera later.
See, this is the accent I was telling you about. He likes to do that sort of thing. Well, there was an unexpected guest.
Oh, yes. But I was happy to see him as well.
We're always happy to see
I love all of the boys, especially Tom Barkhuizen. He's a good guy.
We're going to talk about your contract shortly. We're going to talk about you and your love for Lancashire shortly. But just before we kick everything off in the weekend warm-up, Tuesday night, what a night that was.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough 45 minutes. We went a goal down and conceded a penalty. In my opinion, it wasn't a clear penalty, especially not a send-off. We went 2-0 down into half-time, but I think we came back strong and were the better side in the second half and deserved to get at least a point against Sheffield.
I must admit, at half-time, looking round at everyone, and it was... So what was it like for you lot in the dressing room at half-time? A lot of strong words, or did you need them, or was it...
I mean, there were some shouts in the changing room in half-time, but this sometimes what you need, and obviously like on the pitch we are together, but sometimes we disagree with each other, but the second half was much better, and it was a good result at the end. Very
much a roller coaster of a game. I was going to say, I was trying to work out what to say. I know we say locomotion, but it was like a Rilo coaster. Did you see what I did there with the manager's name? Rubbish, clearly.
Yeah, I saw it before, like don't feel low or something like that.
That's what, so we love that one as well. You're going to fit in well here, Pat. So anyway, more from Patrick in just a moment, but let's remind you about what an amazing contrast of halves it was against Sheffield United at Deepdale on Tuesday.
Barkhazen and Johnson link. Now Hughes down to the byline for Barkhazen, cuts it back, Hughes gets there. Right footed, he went for the bottom left corner. Headed away by Whiteman. Poor there from Stevens, and it falls for Emil Rees. 3-on-2 as North End carry it forward. Rees pokes it through the legs into Sinclair. Shot saved by Fotheringham. Huge chance for Preston North End. Scott Sinclair back in the side, but not able to take the opportunity. And now Sheffield United stride forward themselves and die up to the edge of the box. He shoots, and it's a great save by Everson. Purahan curls it towards the far post. Egan gets there, palmed away by Everson. Shot back in goalwards.
There we go.
And North End fall behind. comes back to Bogle once more. Now looks to link with Sharp. Sharp into Brewster, trying to run away here from Hughes. Brewster down in the box, and the referee points to the spot. Hughes
from the red card.
Sent off before half-time. Leverson v Sharp. The veteran steps up and slams it into the back of their net. Their deficit doubles for Preston North End. Corner taken short. Norwood to the edge of the box now. It's with Hurahan, and Dye shoots, and there's Daniel Everson to palm it away from danger. Emil Rees bearing down on goal, forced wide on the angle, trying to keep it alive here for Preston North End. Barkhazen now back to Johnson, out wide to Barkhazen. Is this a glimmer of hope for Preston North End as Barkhazen cuts it back onto his left, and a goalwards! Alan Brown tests out Fotheringham's reflexes. Basham carries forward to within 25 yards of goal and then feeds it out to the right. Bogle on the edge of the box into Stevens, through for Brewster. Puts it wide of the target. The North End have failed to score only once at home so far this season, as Evans plays it through here for Emil Rees. Repelled by Fotheringham, falls back to Rees. Evans into Johnson! North End have one back. It's the captain, Alan Brown, leading by example. From the restart, it was fluid, intricate play. Johnson on a plate for Brown. First time into the bottom corner. It's North End 1, Sheffield United 2. Egan runs out to the touchline, keeps it in play. Vandenberg looked to head it into the middle for Bauer. Now it rolls for Alan Brown. Brown's going to carry the fight. Brown up to the edge of the box, rolls it right for Evans. Evans across goal! And there it is! Emil Rees with the late equaliser! Just like a Bramall Lane, it's Emil Rees who caps off the late drama. Deepdale erupts. It's Preston North End 2, Sheffield United 2.
Right, so some game, some night, some performance, and you put pen to paper. That's pen to paper, just in case you knew anyway, because you did it
I know
recently.
We Germans know it as well, what it means. So
just in case you didn't know. Lovely. So another 2.5 years at least for Patrick Bauer at Preston North End. What made you do that?
I was never in doubt about it. I feel really comfortable here. Obviously, it takes quite a while to sort it out, but at the end, I'm really happy here. My family is happy. I like the ambition of the club. I feel that we have a very good squad. We go into the right direction, and that's why I wanted to stay here at Preston. 3
different managers since you've been here as well. What's life like under Ryan Lowe for you?
He came in. He's very energetic. You can tell he's really hungry for success. He wants to win us every game. He's working really well on the pitch. I think you can definitely see already what style of football he wants to show, and it's been really good. And I think you can tell with the results recently, they've been really good, and hopefully we can keep going.
In terms of that style of play, he's got a very specific way that he wants you all to play, in terms of the energy, in terms of the tactics, in terms of everything that you have to do at that. So what's it been like out on the pitch for you since he's come in terms of what you have to do?
I think we are definitely more in possession than before. I think I've got more touches on the ball. I'm more involved in the game, so it's been really good. And obviously, I feel that we are more attacking at the moment, more possession based, like I said. And
in terms of training, is it quite different? In terms of, do you have to be? Is it quite not heavy going? In terms of the input that you have, you're having to learn quite a lot. Is it like that, or is it really simple and actually you go in?
It's quite simple. Obviously, he has his patterns he want to show in the game. We are working tactically very well, but it doesn't feel like that we get too much information, so it's really good.
And physically, are you stronger than ever? Are you? They were saying about you're not a robot, but you're a machine now.
I mean, I've always been a machine, so no. yeah, you know, I love to work under him. I think it has been really good. And yeah, hopefully we can keep going.
Thank you for now. We're going to talk about your song shortly as well. And as I say, the fact that you love being in Preston. Why wouldn't you? And in terms of the coaching is concerned, of course, part of the manager's backroom staff now is a certain Mike Marsh. So we caught up with him. I got caught out with him by saying caught out instead of caught up. Are you with us still?
Yeah.
Good. I'm not. Let's hear now from Mike Marsh. Mike, thank you very much for this. Welcome to Preston North End, I should say, I suppose, officially, because this is the first proper chat we've had with cameras involved and everything. So how have you found life so far here?
It's been great so far, really enjoyed it, settled in nicely, so yeah, so far so good.
Good. And it has been reasonably good, hasn't it?
Reasonably, I think it's been very good.
Could do better, I think you were going to say then.
Always room for improvement, isn't it?
Well, I'll talk about that room for improvement in a moment, but I want to talk a little bit about you at first, because I'm of an age where I'm more than familiar with your footballing career, starting at Liverpool and in a decent side. So how would you describe yourself if I had to put you on the spot as a player?
As a player?
You got him, you finally got him.
There's the gaffer.
Brilliant, you got him.
Things I do for you.
I mean, you were a midfielder mostly, weren't you?
I was a midfield player. In my younger days, I was more of a utility player, trying to find a way into the team, but I was a natural midfielder, really. So, obviously, started off at Liverpool, played for another couple of Premier League teams. Played in Turkey for Galatasaray, and I come back and finished my career at Southend. What
was it like at Liverpool? Because they were still a very good team. I know they weren't the dominating team that we see at the top of the league now, but they were certainly very good, weren't they?
Well, there's two sides to it, really. The team that I joined was dominant. I joined Liverpool in '88, '89, so that was joining probably one of the best teams Liverpool have ever had. You'd talk to John Barnes, Beardsley, Aldridge, Whelan, McMahon. So that was one of the best teams. Marsh, well, I only played once or twice, to be fair. I didn't really get in on a regular basis until we tailed off. But it's still a very good team, young team, learning how to go, you know, a couple of indifferent results. But yeah, I spent 6 years at Liverpool as a player, and then went back and spent 6 years as a coach.
So in terms of your playing career, like you said, you played at other top flight clubs, West Ham included in that as well, and then you got an injury, so you had to retire from professional football.
Yep.
And then you dropped into the non-league, and you were getting all the teams promoted, but you couldn't stay with them. This is the conversation I had on the way back from the game on Saturday. We were talking about that.
Yeah, I retired when I was 28, but I had an issue with my knee that allowed me still to play, but I couldn't really train. But I was lucky enough, I don't carry much weight, so I could still play in games. But as everybody knows, if we did get promoted, I wasn't allowed to play in a football league because Southend and I shared a severance insurance payment. So if you did get promoted, I couldn't go. So a couple of times they went up and I stayed in the non-league. It suited me. I preferred part-time football at that stage in my career. My knee wouldn't take the load, and I had a great time just playing part-time.
And all around home effectively as well, so...
Yeah, well, not
mostly,
really. There was a Kidderminster, which is obviously south of Birmingham. I went to Boston, which is in Lincolnshire.
Not that far away, not like going to Turkey.
No, not quite. And then I worked my way back, obviously this way at Southport. I was up at Barrow for a bit, and I was at Accrington, Bearscough, so I worked my way back home in the end.
So in terms of getting into coaching then, I think you sort of had your first spell when you'd finished at Southport, is that right? How did you get into coaching?
I was doing bits of coaching when I was playing in non-league, so I was doing a bit at Boston, doing a bit at Barrow, and then I was at Northwich Victoria, and I ended up combining Northwich Victoria because they were part-time, and I was doing the kids at Preston, I was doing the under-14s at Preston.
Who would have been here when you started that then?
I think Simo was the manager.
Right.
But Nick and Fenners, they were still here. So obviously familiar faces, they were still here now. That was over 10 years ago.
So who got you into North End? How did you get into it?
A friend of mine, Desmar, worked with the kids here, and he said there's an opening, would you be interested? I spoke to Nick Harrison, he asked me to come in. I think I'd done about 18 months here, really enjoyed it. So it's a club I was familiar with from obviously a previous life. Well, obviously come back and working with the seniors now. And
then in terms of the kids, I know obviously you went into Liverpool being close to your heart as well.
Yeah.
That must have been great. And then, did Brendan give you the call up to the first team?
He did, yeah. I left here and joined Liverpool with the 16s. Then I took the 18s, which at the time was my dream job. You know, developing under 18s to get into Liverpool's first team.
Who would you have worked with?
At that age, it was, well, Raheem's the obvious one, isn't he? Stand out. Jack Robinson, who we played against on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Joe Raffle, who's here. So, you know, so there's some familiar faces. Yeah, so I worked for the 18 to 12 months. Brendan came in. He was looking for someone who'd played for Liverpool to be on his coaching staff. I was lucky enough to already be in the building, so he asked me would I be interested in, and that's how that ended up coming about.
And then it is fascinating all the next steps that you take, because obviously Huddersfield Town with David Wagner was one of those as well.
Yeah.
How did you get into that one?
I'd left Liverpool, and when I left Liverpool I got a phone call off England asking would I be interested in part-time roles with the development groups. Obviously I come from a development background, so I went there with a view to going there permanent, but it didn't come about as quick as I thought it would. I was actually offered a job at Leeds, which I didn't take, but people found out at Huddersfield that I was looking to get back into first team football, and Stuart Webber rang me and asked me would I be interested in meeting the new manager. So when David joined at Huddersfield, I joined with him. So that was how that one came about.
Is that Stuart who used to be at Liverpool, who's now at Norwich?
That's the one.
Yeah. So from there, obviously, was that your first taste of gegenpressing in inverted commas with them, or would you say?
No, my first taste of gegenpressing, it wasn't called that. It was just called
High
pressing.
pressing.
And we used to do it at Liverpool. We were very good at it, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think Preston's been in the game for a long, long time. It's like most things in football now. They give it a different title and a fancy name, dress it up as something else. But it's.
I'm glad you said that, because I've been saying that for ages. It's like when they said the low block. It's just defending deep, isn't it?
It's defending deep. They like to give it different titles, don't they, to keep it fresh.
Now I know you're going to be modest, but you are a World Cup winner as well.
I am indeed, yeah.
Yeah. So that was with the under-17s.
Yeah, well, people don't know, it's the under-17s, but it's played in the under-18 year. So you qualify as an under-17, but you play it in the next calendar year, yeah. So it was 4 years ago, I think, yeah. We went to India and we actually lost the European final against Spain in the April or the May. And then we went to India, got Spain in the final again and won 5-2.
And that was with Cooper, wasn't it? Who then
Steve
Cooper, who takes you to Swansea.
Yeah, me and Cooper went to Swansea.
So
yeah.
all these different facets that you're learning, are you taking something from everywhere that you go and as you go along?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you try and pick up bits that you can use, and obviously you try and pick up bits that you try and disregard and you think that's not for me. So I've had a varied coaching career, you know. I think I'm at the stage in my career where I know what works for me and I know what doesn't.
So how did you link up with Lowy then? With the manager, I should say. I'm not allowed to call him Lowy. It's the gaffer now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the boss, yeah. Obviously he's left Plymouth and his number 2 stayed on at Plymouth, so he's looking for an assistant. I got a phone call, asked would I be interested. I got in the car, went to Ryan's house, had a cup of tea with him. Seems to get on fine, our football ideas are pretty similar. Quick discussion, I said, yeah, that's for me, I'm in.
I'm sure you're aware of him beforehand, but was
Yeah,
that
course,
the first
yeah.
meeting? Or?
I don't know Ryan on a personal level. That was the first meeting. I'm obviously well aware of him. He's had a good football career. Obviously he's from Liverpool, so you know most people in Liverpool know people. But yeah, but on a personal level, that was the first time I've met him. So.
Did you need much persuading?
No, it took about 5 minutes. As I said, I drove to his house. His wife made us a cup of tea. We sat down. He told me what his ideas were. I went, yeah, I'm in.
Brilliant. The lads I know love you. They speak very highly in terms of what you bring. They're bound to say that, of course, but they're not saying it as such on the record for effect. I genuinely do think they mean that. So what do you bring that is maybe different, that gets that buzz about the place? Or what would you like to think that you bring?
Well, listen, I just try and give the players ideas on what they're going to come up against. So if we're playing Sheffield United or Swansea, the training will reflect what we come up against, but I try and make it as interesting for them as we possibly can, so they're learning but still getting a bit of enjoyment out of it. What
can we achieve, do you think, whether that be short, medium or long term? What can this club do?
Well, for me, the remainder of the season, we've got to aim to finish as high as possible, wherever that may be. But I think the long-term goal is to get into the Premier League. I think, you know, we'll attack next season, wherever we may finish this season. But with a real idea of can we get in the Premier League? How do we do it? Whether it's play-off first or, you know, automatic. But my idea is to come here and try and get Preston North End into the Premier League. And
just finally, I was saying this to the manager as well, in terms of how important belief is in any football, in anything, I suppose, not just football. You've got to genuinely believe in something. And since you two have come in, there just seems a buzz about the place. You know, here at Deepdale, I'm sure you found that in the matches that you played there. Is that coming across?
Yeah, well, listen, people might think I'm deluded, but I think I can win in everything I take part in. You know, so when you're talking about the non-league days when I played in non-league, it wasn't because I was the best player, I was playing for the best teams. Because I thought I could win, and you know, if you think you can win, you can. You know, so we can get that message across to the players. Because there's nothing in this division. There's very, very marginal differences in between the teams. You know, so if we can get the tactical stuff right and have a bit of belief and confidence and play with that belief and confidence, I think we've got a real chance.
Great to talk to you. Good luck. I'm sure you don't need luck as such, but hopefully you enjoy your time here at Preston North End and we get what we all want to the promised land.
Top man. Thanks
Cheers.
very much.
Thank you. Good man. Back here inside now with Patrick Bauer. You knew that because you've watched all the rest of it, but sometimes people will just jump in halfway through or 3/4 of the way through. They don't, do they? No, I'm just saying that because I probably should have said something different. This is the joy of being live, and it's not even live, it's just pretending to be live. Now, your song. You've got a song, which is great. Some players go through their entire careers without having a song. You've got one. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I'm buzzing about it. It's a great song. Obviously, I think Preston is known for having great songs for some of the players. A good example, the Beluga song of Brown.
We don't talk about that.
Or the DJ song, I love all of them. Yeah, they're really good, and yeah, I'm buzzing with it. Before in the club, I had another song, but yeah, this one is really, really good.
What was the one before?
I don't want to say it on the camera.
That's fine. Okay, you can tell me later. I'm sure we can look that up. So anyway, so we all saw the little girl singing the song this week as well. So a few people have been sending their moments where they've been out and about in ground. So I'm going to show you this one first of all. If I can work it, which I clearly can't.
Oh, it's just deflected. Yes, no, I can see. Yeah, that surely is on some train station or something.
I think that's inside a stadium.
Is it in a stadium? Okay. Yeah, I love that song. It's really, really good. Yeah, you know when you're on the pitch, like sometimes during the game, if you're like focused, you don't really notice it. But if there's a break or something, then you hear
then
it.
You're all over
just
it, are you?
about it.
That was Abby said that one. Thanks, Abby. And this is from our friends at P&E Home and Away. This is a train station.
Ah, yeah, I saw that one. I remember that one.
So you know, in terms of making a difference in people's lives, I don't know whether you appreciate that or whether you will do maybe when you're. Thank you for those, by the way. Really appreciate them. Do you know how much of an impression that you have on us? Are you wary of that? So you know, like my mate's grandson went to a match for the first time in his life on Tuesday night. Will probably have fallen in love with it for the little Tommy. Hello, mate. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of the little Tommies of this world?
I mean, I'm aware that some of the fans probably like me as a player because otherwise they wouldn't sing the song about me. But yeah, I'm just trying to do my best and giving them some enjoyable moments.
One more question. Well, I've got one more question from the fans at least. Anyway, I was in the Invincibles suite on Tuesday night and I saw Lewis Catherine who said, "Can you ask Pat this question, please? What is your favourite moment so far at Preston North End?"
It was probably my goal against Peterborough. It was my first game after coming back from a long-term injury, and yeah, it was just like an amazing day. Like because you're so long out, you are not sure about how you get back on the pitch, and yeah, to help the boys with a goal and get 3 points, it was really good, and that was probably the best moment so far.
What was that time like for you? Because it was a long time out, and you'd not been here, don't think that long, had you? You'd become a daddy in all that time as well. So what was that? How did you manage to cope with such a long spell that you couldn't play football?
I mean, at the start it was tough after I got the results from the MRI. I obviously done my Achilles, so I knew that it will be a long road back. But once I had the surgery and the surgeon said, "Pat, you will be back in around 6 to 7 months," so it was a big relief, and I knew that I will be back. And yeah, it was obviously a setback, but I saw it also as a chance to come back as a better player. So that was always in my mind to focus on that, keep working hard, and I wanted to use the time out to improve as a person, to improve as a player as well, and that made it quite easy, to be honest.
So when you say improve as a person, that's rare that you would hear a footballer saying that. So what did you do that you think helped you manage that?
I mean, it definitely made me psychologically stronger, because to overcome like an injury like this is not easy. Yeah, I got a lot of help from my wife and my daughter as well. And yeah, I used the time also like to reflect on my years of football so far. And yeah, I just wanted to use the time to improve in whatever way I can improve, and I think I managed it.
Good. London is very different to Lancashire. So since you've moved up here, I know that you do love it up here, and that's part of why you've signed the contract extension as well. So what are your favourite parts around here? Where do you like to go? What do you like to do?
I like to go to the Lake District. Yeah, we've been there quite a few times with the family, just like...
Anywhere in particular, or just anywhere?
No, just anywhere,
it's
really,
beautiful,
to have a walk with the family. I visited the safari with the...
Did you go in the monkey bit?
Of course. Yeah. I don't think you can go into a safari and don't...
Did you have your windscreen wipers intact when you came back out?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that's a bonus then.
Yeah, it was really good for my daughter, especially. Like, she was so happy about it, because before she never saw like monkeys. And
my eldest daughter learned something about monkeys that none of us wanted to see on the windscreen. Not going to tell you. But
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the same happened to me.
Outrageous. They've got no shame, have they?
Yeah, they don't. No.
Which was your favourite animal? What's your, out of all of them? Was it, say if you take the monkeys out of the equation?
Probably the tiger.
I knew you were going to say like a strong animal, like a tiger or a lion.
Yeah.
Didn't reflect on you probably that as well.
It did, yeah.
Now, as I was saying to you before, when we have these conversations, it's rare that I've eaten, so I'm coming in hungry. So I've got food in my brain. So we're all going around to yours later. Don't know whether they might come or not. And you're making us, you're doing us a meal, cooking us some food. What we having?
My favourite German dish is probably, have you ever heard of a schnitzel? Mm-hmm. Yeah, schnitzel.
Bit like a sausage?
No.
No?
No, it's like a...
What's a Wiener Schnitzel?
Yeah, Wiener Schnitzel is like, you take a steak, you like hammer it.
Yeah.
Like that is like really flat. You put it in flour, then you put it like in egg mix, and then you move it into like breadcrumbs, and then you like either fry it in a pan or put it in the oven, and it's like really, really good.
Sounds what they eat in Middlesbrough. They have something called a chicken parmo that sounds very similar to that.
Yeah.
But that's what you're doing for us.
Yeah,
I like the sound
I
of
would
that.
do it. Yeah, if you want, like I will go home. I will prepare some and bring them in tomorrow.
Oh, well, I won't be here tomorrow, sadly. And in fact,
maybe for next week. Or
could you do that? You could freeze them. Jonathan Woodgate used to get chicken parmos frozen and sent out to.
I could do that actually. Yeah.
Okay, right, we'll do that. We're all around to yours for a schnitzel. And that's your signature dish, is it?
Yeah, it's quite easy to make as well. So yeah, on a Sunday, for example, like I like to cook as well. I would make a schnitzel for the family, and they're buzzing with it.
Do you like a Sunday roast? You know, you're incorporating you into Lancashire life. Would you have a Sunday roast?
To be honest, I just really have one when we are in on a Sunday, because here at the training ground you have a nice one. But Lauren does a great job, to be honest.
Obviously.
It's good,
Yeah, do you have mash with a Sunday? I mean, we're getting into... I've got to ask you this, because I've asked the manager this by accident on the first time that he came in. Favourite flavour of crisps? This is an important one.
Crisps. I'm not into
Not a crisp
crisps.
man. I knew you were going to say that's fine as well. That's fine. I'll tell you what you are into, and I know this. You love your darts.
I love the darts. I can't play, but I love to watch it.
So you've got a friend who plays darts, I think, haven't you?
Yeah.
Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what do you love about the darts? What is it that gets you? Are you giving it?
Don't know. I just find it impressive, because you know the fields are so small, and then you have like supporters in the crowd who are like either booing or cheering, and like to hit like such a small field in like such a pressure situation, like.
It's like Emil Rees the other night.
Yeah, like him. Yeah.
Or you claiming that goal
Yeah.
that when Brownie had that
was a
shot.
great goal for me.
I thought so. I thought you'd do that one in practice.
Yeah. We practiced it many times on the pitch, and yeah, it just came off like that. So
I'm gonna hold that thought there. We're gonna say goodbye in a minute, but first of all, let's hear, because of course we have got a match at the weekend. Let's hear the pre-match thoughts of the manager and Greg Cunningham.
You can't lose focus on the game at hand, and I think everyone obviously was happy with how we reacted for the second half against Sheffield United and got a good point. So now we're concentrating on Swansea, and after that then it's West Brom, and after that it's Bristol. But we take each game as it comes, because although this game's coming thick and fast, we have to concentrate on the task at hand.
Very well organised, very well coached. They play a brand of football that's great. Risky at times, but that's Russ. He wants to do that. You know, I play the same style myself, but I have different risk elements than Russ does. And they're always on the front foot and they want to play. They get a lot of passes in and they try and suck you out and play you in behind and slide pass in. You know, he's got a very good coaching brain, a good coaching philosophy of where he wants to try and see and get Swansea City to. So we're looking forward to an interesting game of football, because you know, the turnovers have got to be tight. You can't give the ball away too cheap, because they'd have it for a large spell. And we've got to make sure that we set ourselves up right.
They're a great club. You know, they have that philosophy there, and Russell Martin's getting them play a certain way. Obviously, they've had a tough time fixture-wise with their games being called off, and you know, they haven't played much football. So you could look at it one or two ways, that they'll be fresh, chomping at the bit. And some might say, oh, you know, with them not having games, it could be a little bit fatigued and not match sharp. But you know, we won't be taking anything for granted. It's a tough place to go. We know what they're about, and we need to focus on ourselves and make sure we put in our performance and get the result.
Listen, anyone who's got games backlogged, they want to get them fulfilled quickly, and they want to start getting on a track of winning games of football. And Swansea will be no different. You know, we'll obviously be standing in their way. They're our own way going away. We've got to make sure that we're set up right. And prepare the lads properly.
And if you want to follow the game, you know where to go. I follow P&E, to be more specific. Don't forget, it's not the early kickoff anymore, so usual time. Go on to pne.com or Twitter or everywhere else where you would normally do it, and that's it. Devastated, obviously, about that. How did you feel about your first ever weekend warm-up?
Really good. Now I'm more confident about it, so if you want, you can invite me every week from now on.
Well,
so
when restrictions start to sort of cool down a little bit, I think we should probably do a kitchen special.
Yeah, let's do it.
And maybe think about having a Team Schnitzel.
Yeah, Team Schnitzel.
I might even get shirts printed with Team Schnitzel on the back. What do you think? Or T-shirts with your face?
Yeah, that would be class. Yeah.
Cool. Right, well, we'll do that then. Thank you. And we've got you on record of saying that now. So Team Schnitzel coming to a weekend warm-up near you. Oh, I hope this happens. I'm really excited about that already. We always end, though, Pat, with a "Come on, you Whites!" like that.
Come on, you Whites!
You see, this is why he's going already. This is why he signed a new contract. See you, Pat. And don't forget, like and subscribe wherever it may be. Thank you very much. Das ist sehr gut.
Das ist sehr gut.